data types, and in that one option about map type. So what is the difference between map and object? We learned about that. How to use the maps, storing the data and accessing and working with it. One small example we will see. Generally, how we can configure the map and what is difference between object and map. These are the points. So let's see one simple option for that. Yep. So in the data types, how do we configure and work with these maps? Yeah, those differences I will upload into the classroom. One point already I told you. What is difference between object and maps? The key differences here. Yeah. The key differences between object and map type. Object will have default keys. So these are the points we need to understand. So let me give you this object. First, this is map type. Map type. Okay, in JavaScript. So what are the points? First point, object have default keys. And map will not have any default key. That is the point. Second, object keys must be string type only. So map key can be any type. So object technically uses more memory. So map uses less memory because they don't have default keys. So because object is having default keys, for that it needs more memory. It uses less memory. Object is slow in access. So map is faster in access. So it is faster in access. So because one of the advantage of map is it uses iteration techniques. By using those iteration techniques implicitly means internally, it can easily read the values and use them. Object requires explicit iterations. Here, implicitly, it handles everything. And generally, reading keys from an object generally reading of keys from an object requires iterator. What iterator for in we have to use? So from reading keys and values, keys and values from an object, from an object, reading keys and values from an object is easy with the help of, methods, keys, and with the help of the properties, with the help of properties, keys, and values. Another important is object. Problem with object is object will not allow to find the length of properties. The length of means you can say the count of properties. How many keys are there? You cannot find. Object will not allow to find the count of properties, means here keys. So this map allows to find the count of keys. That's the advantage. These are all important points. So how to create a map, how we can access the values from the map. Yes, last session we saw. So this is the map, and you can access and you can configure the value in this way. So this is a simple technique of configuring the map. So this is a syntax and how map is defined. So we have two important options. So one is set and get. So set and get methods. So set is used to assign a value. Set is used to add a key and value. So get is used to read value by using key. Get is used to read value by using key. That is actually difference between the get and set methods. So set value and get value. You can see here, there are so many ways of writing the map. For example, sometimes I'm writing here the map configuring like this, where object is equal to new map. In that, we put a square brace, and here we configure like so key, and what type key you want. So that is a string type key we want. And we configure value, what type value you want. But unfortunately, JavaScript don't have these data type restriction because it is not a strongly typed. So it doesn't have data type restriction. But when maps are used in advanced like TypeScript and all, you can restrict that key must be string type or value must be number type. Like that you can restrict. So many times people ask this question, like map will not allow map will allow different types of keys. Can we restrict the keys of same type? You cannot restrict the keys of same type in JavaScript, but it is possible in advanced like TypeScript like languages. Why? Because TypeScript is JavaScript based only, but it is strongly typed. If it is a strongly typed language, we can restrict to specific type. But currently it is not possible. It is not possible. That is the reason. So this is not possible here in JavaScript, but it is possible in advanced. So in advanced two JavaScript languages like TypeScript and all. So map has one more option. So in the map, so we are giving obj dot set, and the key is string type, suppose HTML, and value is any type. So it is a markup language like this, and obj dot set, and it is JS. So it is a client side. It is a language for so client side interactions. Client side interactions like this we give it. Now here we can get how many characters are how many keys are present. Obj dot set, suppose CSS, it defines styles for HTML. Like this we configure. If you want to access any specific, you know already, document dot write. So HTML, suppose I am writing HTML in a heading HTML, and in a paragraph, so we want to print, yeah, that is in an expression I am writing. In the paragraph we want to print here obj dot get HTML. So the key you have to define get HTML. So it needs to get that HTML details and display. Get the HTML detail and display. And you can see it is going to access and display that HTML detail. So this is basically get accessor, how we can access it and use it. So this is getting and setting the value. So one any value you can read here. Here one more options are there. So you have an option here that is I can define total number of topics, how many are there. I can simply access obj.size. Obj.size, it is going to return the length of the topics and display. That means how many topics are present, it is going to display that. So let's save that and see here. So how many are there? 3. It will display 3. Total number of topics are 3. So this length is not possible in object. In object, we don't know how to get the length. Actually, we have to collect all the properties, store in an array, then find the length. Directly, that size is not possible in the case of object, actually. So here it is possible. That means we can find the total length. So that is size. Example size. So what size can do is size. It can find and return the total count of keys. Count of keys. This is an example for that. This is an example. So total number of topics. It can return all the keys. Suppose you can simply write. So here simply you can write obj dot keys. So this keys is going to return. It is going to return. It is a function. Function means it's an iterator. It is an iterator. I call that function. So this iterator function is going to return a map. You see, it returns a map iterator. Map iterator, that means it uses, so it uses an object map iterator. That means this is an object. This is an object. And it is an iterator. It is an iterator. Actually, if it is an iterator, it can read the values and return the values. That means it can read and return every value. It can read and return every value. Self-iterators, these are. Generally, the iterators, when we want to access them, we need for, off, for, in like operators. We need to have for in and for off like operators. But now generally, we don't need the for in and for off like operators. So what we can do is, we can read all the keys and values just by using keys and values. Actually, what is the technique for reading is, because it is returning an iterator. When it is returning an iterator, so what we do is, we will write some constant. So, and it is an iterator. Into that, we will access obj dot keys, which returns the keys. After returning the keys, we generally write document dot write. So we need to access the iterator. We need to access the iterator. And the iterator is nothing but, iterator dot next method will be there. Next method will be there. This next method will read the next value and return the value. Next value. That's how we access. That means it is going to read that HTML and show. That is going to read HTML and show. So, of course, you can write this function again. That means you can write this function again. So when you write this function again, so it is going to return JavaScript. That means I will put a line break at the end. You can see that it is going to return JavaScript. That's how we can read one by one. Now, if you want all to return, so here I can write like this. I can configure in this way. I am writing that statement one more time, and it is going to return one by one. It's an iterator. So that means it is configuring the values and returning the values from the iterations. Actually, this is returning the key, how it is going to return the key and configure the key. Now, not returning the keys. Generally, what we need is one by one, not one by one. Actually, like this, you can get it. That is one example. Because it is returning an iterator, this is another example. This is example. So, reading keys, reading keys. So this is an example of reading keys. You can read the keys in this way by using this technique. Similarly, you can read the values also. We can use the values and configure the values. But important is, if you want to read all the keys and return all the keys, we can use a for off operator. By using the for off operator, you can read all the keys all at a time. That means instead of doing this, this technique is used to read one by one. So it is used to read one by one. That situation comes so many times. Otherwise, if you want to read all, then we can simply use for var item of, or say for var key of obj dot keys. Keys. We have to configure in this way. And we need to put document dot write, and we need to display the key and the br line break. So this is going to return all the keys. It is going to return all the keys. Same, but previously you saw one by one reading, but now it returns all of them. It can return all of them. So just by using iterator, you can do. That means you can say using iterator, using for of iterator, you can read the values. So let's take here. Using for of iterators. For of iterator. How we can use the for of iterator. This is a for of iterator. You can read all values, reading all values. So reading all values, you have an option like this. Instead of dot keys, you can put values. And here we are using value. And print every value here. Name can be anything, value here. So this is used for reading all the values, all the values. We can read all the values, we can read all the keys. So there is another option. We can read both keys and values. We can read both keys and values. So reading keys and values. That means it is nothing but called entries. Entries. That means both key and value. Then you can use obj.entries. So here item, I will just give an item. And that item is nothing but for every item, whatever key and value is there, it is going to return the key and value. You can see they are separated with a comma, key and value. You can read the key separately. You can read the value separately. You can read both keys and values together. So that is another important thing. So we can even manipulate the keys dynamically. Manipulate the keys dynamically is nothing but we can remove the keys. So we can removing specific key. So and managing a specific key, we can configure that. For that, so we have the functions. The functions are nothing but just we can use the options like here obj. So obj dot, we have an option. You have see the clear, and I said document dot write obj dot size. So clear is used for deleting all of them. Then size is 0 now. That means we don't have anything. Clear is used to remove all. Remove all. So here in the keys, you have another option. That means you can remove any specific by using delete. Delete which one? JS. And you can see it says now two are there. You can delete any specific, only specific. You can delete all. So you have the methods. So deleting entries. So deleting entries. Deleting entries. How we can delete the entries? So to delete the entries, we have two options. One is delete, delete. So the purpose of delete is nothing but it removes specific element using key, and clear. So it removes all elements. It removes all elements. So that is example actually. So specific element and removing all elements. That's how it can manage. That is deleting and configuring. One more important, you can also verify whether it exists or not. So another option is check for any specific key. You can check for any specific key by using has. So that means you can simply write here a condition. If obj dot has JS, that means it returns true or false. So here we will define document dot write JavaScript available like this. Otherwise, so document dot write some JavaScript not found, something like this we define. And that is the approach. It's a JavaScript available. Suppose I deleted obj dot delete JS, deleted. Then it says JavaScript not found. We can remove the specific and we can handle it. That is done by using this technique. So you can check whether the specific element is available or not. So, and based on that, we can manage it. So map have better advantages, but sometimes map problem is because it allows different types of keys, and we cannot restrict that in JavaScript. Then if you want the same type of key to handle, then maps cannot manage them. That is the reason. So we have to go with the objects also very much in JavaScript especially. But later in future, so advanced languages which are JavaScript based but strongly typed. Such languages allows us to make the keys and values to restrict to specific type. That is one important. This is all about the map types, how we can configure and work with the map types. These are all the basic data types of JavaScript. So you need to understand the variables and data types. In computer programming, wherever you go, these two are very important. How to store data and how do we define the structure for data. data storing, and a data structure. Variables, data storing, and data type, data structure. Here we learned primitive types, non-primitive types, and how to work with them. And two major objects we have discussed, that is arrays and object types, and another important date type, how we can handle the date types and use them. These all we will put in examples, but to put in examples, you need to know two more topics very well. Then we can put all together in example. You need to know already some programs we have seen, but to do better, so to implement in real-time requirements, you need to know about operators, and statements. Generally, operators and statements. So what are the operators available and statements? With that, we can do lot of functionalities. Actually, technically, what is an operator? Technically, operator is an object. Operator is an object. It is an object that evaluates a value. That evaluates a value. Evaluates means returns a value. Operator is an object that returns a value. So operator is going to return a value. So technically, operator, how it returns the value. So by using operands, by using the operands, operator can return the value. Now, based on how many operands are present, first, operators are classified into three types. So classified into three types based on operands, how many operands are present. So we call unary operator. That means only one operand will be there. That means like x plus plus, minus x. So this is only one operand. On that operand, this operator will work. It doesn't require the second one. These are unary operators. We have binary operator. Binary operators, that means two operands. So operand 1 and your operator and operand 2, like that. We have binary operators. They define on 2. Actually, binary operator is different. Generally, people call bitwise operators. Bitwise is different point. Here, binary means two operands, and ternary operator will be there. Ternary operator is nothing but three operands will be there. That means operand 1, question mark, then operand 2, so colon, then operand 3. So that is ternary operators. Three operands will be there. So operand 1, 2, and 3. So based on how many operands, these operators are classified into three types. We will see them: unary operators, binary operators, and ternary operators. Now, important is the operators are again classified into several types based on the type of value they return. First, these are the categories based on number of operands. Based on number of operands, three types are there: unary, binary, ternary. Based on number of based on type of so type of return value based on type of return value, what type of value it returns. Operators are again classified into several types. Like we have arithmetic operators. We have logical operators. So we have conditional operators, conditional logical operators, similar actually. But in that we have some more categories I will tell you. Conditional operators. We have bitwise operators. So we have assignment operators. Like this, we have so many. I will give you what are these and how to work with them. We will see one point how we can understand and work with them. The arithmetic operators, the logical operators, the conditional operators. Based on the type of value they return, they are classified into so many types. Type of value they return means usually arithmetic operators always return a number. Arithmetic operators always return a number. They are always going to return a number. So those are arithmetic operators. What are the various arithmetic operators? We will see. But the intention of arithmetic operators is to return a number. They are always used to return a number. So we have general arithmetic operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So we have modulus division, double asterisk. This is the new one, that is exponent. And we have the plus, so and minus, increment and decrement operators we are having. 1 second, just wait for 2 minutes. So all these arithmetic operators are, majority you already know in general: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And modulus division is for remainder, right? Remainder value. Exponent is new from ES5 onwards, JavaScript ES5 onwards. This exponent operator is new. It's newly added actually. Earlier, we have to use a option math.power. Now it is handled by using double asterisk. That is nothing but exponent. That means if I write 2 double asterisk 3, that means 2 to the power of 3. So it will return 8. So that is just general exponent operator actually. This is increment, decrement. That means if I say x plus plus, that means x is equal to x plus 1. it will increment by 1 and it will store in the same reference. So that is general how it is managing. In that we have post pre-increment, I will tell you. So we have x minus minus. So that means x is equal to x minus 1. Minus 1. So these are the operators. Generally, the new operator is where x equal to 2. So where y is equal to 3. Document dot write x double asterisk y. So that is actually exponent. Exponent, it is going to return 8. It is going to return 8. Earlier we used to write like this, math dot power and 2 x comma y. Like this we need to write. So 2 to the power of 4 like this. And you see it returns 16. So it is 3. So it returns 8. It's same. Now it is in the new versions, you have double asterisk. We can manage that with the help of double asterisk. And increment decrement is important. Suppose I said where y is equal to x plus plus. So actually this is called post increment. Post increment. In post increment technique, what happens is first this x value is assigned to y. First x value is assigned to y. After assigning to y, then x value will increment. That means after assigning it will increment. After assigning it will increment. That is post increment. In that case, after assigning, if it is incrementing, then what will be the value of x and y? Now value of y will be 10 and the value of x will be 11. Why? Because post increment means it will first assign and increment. Now see what happens here. Document dot write x is equal to, so whatever the value of x, and in the next line y is equal to whatever the value of y, x and y, and you can see it is going to return that x and y value. It's going to return the x and y value. That is how it is going to manage the values. So y is 10 because post increment. Post increment means it will first assign, then increment. We have pre increment. Pre increment means plus plus x. It will first increment, then assign. If it is incrementing and assigning, then it is 11 and assign 11 to y. That means both are 11 now. You can see both are 11. So that is pre-increment, post-increment. These points are important. Similarly, x minus minus, post-decrement. So this is a decrement. Decrement. That means now y value will be 10 and x value will be 9. So because it will first assign and decrement. If I say minus minus x, that means it is going to manage the same value because it is decrementing and displaying. These operators, generally mathematical operators, all these are very regularly required. For example, so generally we need to use all these operators to do some mathematical operations. Suppose you see the websites, like suppose we have HDFC Bank website. When I open this HDFC Bank website, in this HDFC Bank website, you will find here you can see in the HDFC Bank website, you can observe we have a lot of calculators. You see calculators at the bottom, personal loan EMI calculator, car loan calculator. When you select them, this is the calculator they provide. That's the calculator they provide. Now, generally, user can select loan amount. User can select tenure in how many years. User can select interest rate and calculate, and it will display the result there. That means monthly installments, how much they need to pay. Now, this requires mathematical operations with specific formula. Generally, to calculate EMI, so there will be formula. So that formula uses a lot of arithmetic operations. This is designed in JavaScript jQuery. Actually, you can go Google and search for that EMI formula. And this is the EMI formula. That means principal amount, interest rate, tenure in months. The EMI will be how much? For that, this is the formula. You can see principal into interest rate into 1 plus interest rate by number of months. That means N refers to number of months. This formula is going to return the payments every month. So this formula we have to implement in this design. First, when I am moving this slider, I need to get the value. And when I click calculate button, I need to calculate and display that. Now, how this generally design normal. Design, I will show you simple point how we can do that. So let's say doc type, head, title. I'm just giving a rough design for you. EMI, okay. And in the body, I'm just configuring simple. First, a small example I will show you. So we have what is that amount? Okay. I'm giving a field set with a legend like amount. In this, we have input type is equal to text. ID as txt amount. Okay, in the div, I defined here. So input type is equal to range. Min is equal to 10,000 or 1 lakh. So, and max is equal to some 50 lakhs like this. And value is equal to some 1 lakh default. That is the value. So, and ID is equal to range, amount range. Actually, this is the principal amount. This is the principal amount. That is the slider. From the slider, principal amount will come. When I am sliding this, I need to get that. So when we are sliding, I need to get that value and display inside the text box. While sliding, I need to display. You can use Bootstrap. Bootstrap will give more good appearance. I already told you in Bootstrap form range we can give. Link relation is equal to style sheet and href is equal to node modules, Bootstrap, dist CSS, Bootstrap CSS. class container fluid, and that is the appearance here. And here I'm giving the class as form range. Form range will give a slider like this. Width and all we can define. Suppose I said W25, or we can put in a container. So here I am sliding, the value should come and display inside text box. It should display inside text box. In that case, what we have to do now is just we have to write an event called onChange. Event called onChange. Amount change. So we will write that script here. So script function amount change. Document dot get element by ID. TXT amount dot value. So dot value is equal to document get element by ID principal amount. So principal amount. So what is that here? I given as principal amount. So yeah, principal amount. That principal amount I need to access. Dot value. Its value must be applied there. You see now, when I move the slider, the value will come inside it. You can keep in any div or any location and display that. The value is there. Now user can select the range of value and it will be displayed. Similarly, now you have to design the years 1 to 5. You have to design interest rate. You need to define interest rate. In HTML already I told you, you can give fractions also for range slider. We can give the fractions also. 0.5 to 0.8 like that. Fractions we can give minimum and maximum. Now what you have to do is design this screen and click on calculate button. Collect this value, principal amount, number of years, interest rate. Collect this value and put in this formula. And finally show the result. Like this. Your EMI will be how much? You have to do that. What do you say? Can you implement this example now? With that formula, you can Google the formula and you have to design this screen now. So here our intention is arithmetic operators. What do you say? Can you do this by yourself? Can you try this now? So already we know how to collect the value from text boxes. And after collecting the value from text boxes, now we need to calculate by using that formula and show the result and display that. So this is your task. This is your exercise that you have to do. If you are facing any problem, I will tell you. I will show you. Of course, I will upload one small example here into your classroom. I will upload an example with the formula. What you have to do is you have to change its design. With the formula, I will upload example. Where is that HTML projects? This is the EMI. Okay, this example I will upload. But you have to design in the HDFC way. This is the same. Here I can enter the loan amount. So loan amount 50,000. Loan length in months 24 months, interest rate 10, and monthly payment it will calculate monthly payment. Now only the point is this, you have to design in this way. Visually it should look like this. Both are same, but visually when I slide, the value should come here, and we need to display that and show. I will upload this example. Now you have to try this example. For this, formula is this. Two formulas are there. So two formulas will be there. But you implement this formula. In this example, I given two formulas actually. You have to implement this one. Don't use math.pow. So use this one. Use this formula. Principal, monthly interest, this formula. Math.pow, old versions, right? Now use this technique and you have to implement it. This file I will upload. Now based on that, you need to achieve this design. Screen, I need exactly like this. Exactly like this. What do you say? Can you try this? Huh? Exactly like this, I want the screen. Rupee symbols, ignore them. Already we learned input group, remember? Input group already we learned. Yeah. For that, you need to learn HTML. Ashish Gupta, already we learned in HTML how to set the gap. You can use input group and you need to design it. Okay, that is your task. Then by tomorrow, you have to do it and submit in the classroom. I will check that. Okay, tomorrow we'll continue with this. I will upload this as a task. You have to design it. Okay, right. If you are unable to do, I will show you in the class, but you have to do it first. Then tomorrow we will discuss about some other examples by using these operators and how to work with them, right? Yeah.